A very warm welcome to today's live session. Today we are going to talk all about public speaking skills. Yes, today we are going to talk about how do you enhance your public speaking skills. But before I get into that, I want to basically help you decode what's the difference between presentation skills and public speaking skills. All right. So in presentation skills, what typically happens is, hi Hiren. In presentation skills, what typically happens is that people are talking to a specific group of audience, typically a small set of audience, and there's a lot of engagement, there's a lot of back and forth, there's a lot of dialogues and participation happening. But in case of public speech, what typically happens is you are addressing a large group of audience and there's not really any back and forth happening. It's just that you are addressing the audience, you're evoking emotions, you're helping them engage, but not by way of them talking. They are feeling all that you're talking, they are able to experience certain movements in their body within them, but at the same time they're not really talking to you. So that's the main difference between presentation skills and public speaking. Hi Quintessential, nice to see you here. All right, so now we are going to look at specific types of public speaking, and then you need to tell me which is your style, because if you do not know your style of public speaking, then it gets very difficult to actually go ahead and practice public speaking. All right, now each one of us is unique in some way, right? Hence the way we speak also needs to be unique. There's no point in imitating somebody else's way of talking or having somebody else's voice. You need to find your own voice. All right, so for that I have kind of given around maybe 10 to 14 types of public speaking styles. You need to identify yours. All right, so the first style is the aggressive style or the arrogant style, okay, where people are just coming and demanding on stage and all right. Then the next type of public speaking style is the advising kind, more like a mentor. Typically you'll see Tony Robbins talk like that, talks more like a mentor, is always advising you. All right, next is the humorous kinds, where you are there providing entertainment to your audience, and at the same time you are giving them value. Okay, so think of say a Jim Carrey, or think of Mr. Bean, right? Rowan Atkinson. Hello Sachin. All right, so this is humor. Then you've got the Gary Vee style, which is the bold but knows what he's talking. All right, so if you look at Gary Vee, he's extremely credible, people really love him. Of course there are certain set of audiences which cannot associate with his way of talking, but he knows his stuff and he's pretty bold to bring it out there without any filters, right? The next style that you have is somebody like a coach, or like a sports coach, if I have to put it, who actually makes you sit down, completely charges you up before your match so that you can go ahead and win that match. You'll see a lot in your football coaches and cricket coaches. All right, then the next style is the assertive. So one was the demanding or the dominating, the arrogant one, and then you have the assertive or the assuring style of public speaker. He is the one who is actually telling you yes. He's the one who's actually so where was I was talking about somebody assertive, right? So an assertive one would be the one who'll actually come and give you a dream. So think of Martin Luther King when he gave the speech, I have a dream. That's an assertive or an assuring type of public speech. Then next you've got the persuading style, where literally convincing people to buy into what you have to speak. All right, so these are some styles. I'll think of some more. Actually, just give me a moment. I've put them down. There are quite a few. All right, then you've got the storytelling type of public speech, which works brilliantly because people love love connecting with human experiences, right? So a storyteller is somebody like, say, a Steve Jobs, who uses a lot of imagination, a lot of experiences, what happened to him in his college days, how did he manage to win forth and everything. So storytelling is another style. Then you've got the Oprah Winfrey style, where she's got that aura, that kind of presence, where The moment the person enters the room, she's able to grab the attention of the people out there. All right. Then the next style is the sales style. A person who can literally sell anything. That's a salesperson sort of public speaking style. Then you've got the Elon Musk style, which is more technical, where the person literally comes and brings in all his technical knowledge and does it with a lot of confidence because he knows his work really well. Hello, Miracles Mastery. Hello, Shalu Yadav. All right. Then we've got the inspirational style of public speaking, which is more like Barack Obama. He knows he's moving something within you. He's literally able to help you vision, help you see your dream, and help you get moved and get charged up to take action. That's the inspirational style. Then you've got the philosophical kind of speeches, more like the spiritual leaders. So you've got Sadhguru, you've got Gaur Gopal Das, which actually talk from a very philosophical angle. Hello, Anand. Then you've got the fear style. Now, again, the people who follow the fear style of speeches are the ones where they are intentionally trying to disturb you so that they can move something within you. And it's extremely important that in some way or the other, during your speeches, you kind of disturb people, bring in some sort of fear, help them get a little uncomfortable in their space, and then eventually give them a challenge. So we'll talk more about this once I'm done with the public speaking styles. Then, hey Judy, I just saw you. Hi Mishka. All right. And lastly, you've got the arrogant style, which I spoke to you about, where the person is literally dominating, demanding sorts, and instills a fear very naturally in people. The people sitting in the audience are extremely scared of him as a personality. All right. So these are some public kind of speech styles. What you need to do first is find yours. Where do you belong? Are you the inspirational kinds? Are you the philosophical kinds, the one who instills a lot of fear in people? Are you a storyteller? So decide what's your style. You do not need to imitate anyone out there because you lose your uniqueness. Sorry, quintessential, you could type out what I am. I don't know that. According to me, I'm the inspirational kinds, but I would really love to know from you, what am I scare you, oh my god. Okay, all right, so those were the public speaking types. Now let's move to the secrets. Okay, what are the secrets to get you to become an amazing public speaker? All right, so the first one, very important, is to pick up a topic which is close to your heart. Okay, I'm obsessed about, because if you do not like your topic, then you won't be able to be comfortable, and hence your audience is going to feel uncomfortable. All right, so your topic needs to be in a particular area. Like in my case, it's all related to personal development. You'll never really see me talk about politics or comedy because those are areas which I get uncomfortable talking about, right? So pick up an area or a topic which you're extremely comfortable, obsessed, and passionate about, and then think from the audience's point of view. Put yourself in the audience's shoe and think, what kind of a story would they like to hear? What kind of speech would they like to hear with regards to this topic? What kind of knowledge would they like to learn? All right, once you're done with that, you need to actually sit down and list your bullet points. Write that, say that, and do that. All right, please don't go ahead and write scripts. Scripts are never ever going to help you, because the moment you want to go and refer back to your script, you're focusing more on that paper and not on your audience. You're not looking at your audience, so your audience will tend to feel negative up there. All right, so that's the number 2 secret. First secret is always pick up a topic you love. Second is put yourself in your audience's shoe. What is it that they would like to hear regarding this? All right, then the third secret that I have for you is you need to prepare. But when you prepare, there's no scripting required. Just have a list of bullet points, or maybe carry small cue cards with you. You get those sticky notes, the small ones, just carry it with you so that they serve as good cues. And obviously you're not going to write heavy text on it. Then you're just going to look at the keyword, you know what you have to talk next, and then go ahead and talk about that topic. All right, now when it comes to preparation, it's also very important you have a group of people with whom you can practice and get feedback on a daily basis. Okay, so it makes sense to join groups, join forums, or join any sort of meetups where y'all meet together and practice talking on various topics. Something like a Toastmasters. So maybe join Toastmasters, or maybe have a group of friends or a group of people, like networking events where you can go ahead and every week practice something. All right, it's very important that every week you go out there on stage and talk out till the time your fear isn't out. All right. Then the next tip that I have for you is, whenever you are planning for a public speech, hey Mohit, whenever you're planning for a public speech, record the speech. Okay, so during your preparation phase, put on your camera and record it. Please do not do it in selfie mode. Okay, because when you do it in selfie mode, as it is, you are nervous, and when you look at yourself, you're going to get even more nervous. All right, but if you feel you're not that nervous, then please go ahead, use the selfie mode, or best talk in front of a mirror. All right, but it's extremely crucial that you have a copy of your preparation so that you can refer to it time and again and see what are the kind of mistakes you're making. Are you properly getting the emotions out of people? Are you instilling the little bit of fear, disturbing them a bit? Are you using the right words? Are you interesting enough? So all of this analyze is done only when you have a recording of your preparation. All right, then what's next? Yes, the next tip that I have for you is, when you are preparing, you are thinking from the point of the audience. Okay, so you're thinking, what would your audience like to hear? At the same time, how would you like to leave your audience? At the end, do you want them to be happy? Do you want them to be disturbed? Do you want them to be sad? What is the outcome? Do you want them to subscribe to your newsletter? Do you want them to buy some of your products? Or do you just want to move them, inspire them, and motivate them? So you need to decide the outcome in advance, and based on the outcome, so it's basically begin with the end in mind. You're literally thinking how the ending should be, and accordingly you are preparing for your speech. All right, apart from that, it's extremely crucial that you know your audience well. Okay, so as much as possible, try to research what is the kind of audience that's going to be seated out there. What's the kind of age group? What are they doing? What's their kind of profession? If possible, what are their kind of income levels? What are their lives experiences? So little sort of information that's possible to get. Please get that, so that you get an idea of how to talk to them. So for example, if you learn that your audience are the youngsters, people who are, say, in their teenage years, then you know that their attention spans are very low. They get distracted so easily. So in that case, you need to make your speech in such a way that you are able to hold their concentration levels. All right, so do a little research on the kind of audience that's going to be seated on the day of the event. Then next is, on the day of the event, when you're giving your public speech, ensure that you make each and every person sitting in the audience feel as if he's the only one sitting in that auditorium for you. All right, so all I'm talking about is having that connect with each and every person. Okay, so when I say having a connect, the person out there should literally be so involved in your speech that he forgets that there are people around him. All right, and how do you do that? You do that by giving eye contact. Okay, so don't worry about certain people who are yawning out there, please ignore them. But the others who seem very interested, give them good eye contact, and don't just focus on one person. Your movement needs to be in such a way that, suppose there are people sitting in the auditorium, of your eye movement. So you look at all the people sitting that M. Okay, so you make an M by way of your eye movement. So people sitting in that M, you need to look at them, and then make a W with your eye movement so that you get to see all the people who are sitting in that W line. All right, so that way what's happening is, you've glanced at everyone, you're able to connect with all of them and making them feel special. Okay, next is, have a lot of stories. People love stories. Okay, so hello Obed. So, what you need to do is whenever you are talking, every 10 minutes try to shift emotions in your speech. So, maybe the first 10 minutes try to bring up their energy, try to make them feel charged up and happy. Then, next 10 minutes, by way of a sad story or a moving story, bring down their emotions. They should feel a low and then again spike up their emotions. So, that way, what's happening is even they are seeing a change within them and they are not getting bored. If you always talk only the low things in your public speech or always only motivating, then it gets boring. You need to have those shifts continuously. So every 10 minutes is a suggested time that you need to keep shifting their emotions. All right, and do this by way of story. So give an uplifting story, then a low story, then an uplifting story again, and each time a story is complete, you need to actually tell them what's the main point that they have to derive, like a moral of the story sorts. All right, then the next is apart from stories, don't just pour in information all the time. So, for example, don't just keep talking. Maybe you use couple of diagrams, charts, maybe some sort of audio, some sort of videos. If you're good at rapping, singing, reciting a poetry, please go ahead, do that. Crack a tiny little wise joke here and there. Drop questions. So it's extremely important that you ask your audience questions, not with the hope of them answering. Your questions should be such that they just have to raise their hands. All right, so for example, how many of you believe that you can do so and so? So the person will just, or people in the audience are just going to raise their hands. So you know you're getting them into a movement mode also. They're not just sitting still, but there's some movement happening, and movement releases energy, right? Now understand that at any given point, wherever you go to give a public speech or a presentation, you'll have three different types of audiences. All right, one will be a visual kind of an audience, the second will be auditory, and the third will be kinesthetic. Let's try to understand this. So visual is somebody who likes seeing things. He learns just by seeing. Hello 3G King. Okay, so for example, if I show him a PPT or I show him a video or a diagram or a chart, he feels good because he learns maximum that way. Then you have the A, which is the auditory style. Now, these are the people who like listening. So maybe do a little bit of meditation with them, or make them listen to an audio, make them listen to a song. So that way, what's happening is they are learning by listening. And then you have the K, which is the kinesthetic. Now, these are people who like action, who like body movements. So obviously in a public speech you can't get them to do role plays, but what you can get them to do is make them raise their hands each time you ask a question. So bring in such a pattern that each time you ask a question, they know that they have to raise their hands if they agree to you. Right? So that way the kinesthetic people also are involved and they are engaged with you. Okay, then next I have next for you. Okay, yes, I forgot to add. You also need to use a lot of quotes. So if you are a beginner and you feel, what do I do? How do I engage my audience? Pick up good quotes. Okay, and install them in between your stories. So whenever there's a story happening, put in certain quotes so that it interests various audiences sitting out there. All right. Okay, next very important point, that is my secret number 9 for you, is you know what? 99.999% of the people really don't care if you're nervous, they really don't care if you made spelling mistakes, you've mispronounced words, you've forgotten on stage. All they care about is that you are not boring them. All right, so ensure that you give value, but give it in such a way that's entertaining and fun for them. So it needs to be valuetainment, that's value plus entertainment. Just coming out there and pouring information is not going to help them. All right, so that's number 9 for you. How's it going so far? Please comment and tell me if you're loving all the secrets that are being shared with you. Just type loving it in the comment section. Okay, if you're loving it, please pour in your comments. If you have any questions, pour that in. I would love to answer all those for you. All right. Then the next one, which we spoke about, is you need to figure out, hi Tisha, you need to figure out a way where, thank you 3G King, thank you. Okay, you need to figure a way where you kind of disturb people and move them. Now, the reason I'm saying this again and again is because, see, each one of us has fears within us. Each one of us somewhere is disturbed. And these all are pent up feelings. Okay, if it doesn't come out, it's going to be within us and it's going to disturb us all the time. So it's your job as a speaker to stand on the stage, get them to get more disturbed, release the pent out feelings, and then eventually give them a challenge. Okay, now what is this challenge? This challenge is some sort of an action movement, that action item that you need to give them. So I'm not sure how many of you used to watch or do watch Steve Jobs videos. You would notice a pattern in his videos. Each time he mentioned three things, or four things, or five things. Three things, no big deal. Today I'm going to talk to you about the three things. So he would name the first one, second one, third one. All right. So that way, what's happening is the person knows by the end of this particular speech, I'm going to learn the top three things. All right. So when you are disturbing them, then later give them a challenge that these are the three things, 1, 2, 3, that I'm going to be talking to you about, with the promise from you that you are actually going to actionate these. You're actually going to move into action after you are done with today's speech, after you're done watching my speech today. All right, because if by the end of the speech there are no action items, there are no challenges for your audience, then what's going to happen? The person will feel it was a waste of time. He got half an hour, maybe for a day, and then next day he's back to his routine. He's back to the same old rut, back to square one, doesn't know what to do next with his life. All right. So every time you give a public speech, let it be even for 10 minutes, you need to give them a challenge that by the end of the session, by the end of these 10 minutes, I want you to take action on these three things. And I've shown you how to take action. All right. So you need to decode it for them and then tell them to do it on your own. So if you want to support it by way of some worksheets or by way of some workbooks, please go ahead and do that. All right. And then very important tip, many people, I have a lot of students who ask me that I don't like dressing formally, and when I have to talk in my college, like there is some, say, an annual meeting, or sorry, an annual festival, not a meeting, do I really need to wear those blazers? See, now times are changing. You really don't need to wear those blazers. You need to dress for your success. Okay, so maybe a blazer is not needed, but you need to wear something which makes you look comfortable, but at the same time makes you look one up. Because if you just look one of the people, then they may not really create a good impression of you. All right, so now there might be a debate out here where you tell me, look at Jay Shetty, or look at the other people, look at Mark Zuckerberg, they don't really dress up. They are in their specific t-shirts out there. I totally believe in that, but then your aura, your personality needs to be such that people, the moment they know, actually come here on stage and help us learn something. So one thing you need to keep in mind is have that mindset that you're not there to teach people. You cannot teach people. We are not teachers. All right, but we are here to talk to people, give them our pieces of learning from our life's experiences, from our knowledge, and also learn from them. Because understand, even when your audience is not really communicating verbally, they're still communicating with you, right? They are sitting there, they are nodding, they are engaging with you, and that is good amount of feedback for you to learn. What were your mistakes? What were your greatest points? All right. So never go there to teach people. Nobody can teach you. Nobody can teach me. We're just here to exchange and help each other grow. Okay. So before I move to the next points, I think I have some questions. I have some comments here. Okay. Thank you, Miracles Mastery. Thank you, Judy. Tisha, how do I know you? I can see your name here. That's why. Sachin, thank you for not calling me scary. Hello, Aditya. Okay, Sachin, my favorite speaker. I love Gaur Gopal Das and I love Jess Shetty, both of them. And I love Gary Vee also, actually. But if you ask me if I have to learn something in depth, it's definitely Gaur Gopal Das. Okay. Hi, Kalpesh. All right. So that was the point on dressing. And now I want to talk to you something extremely important. Now, we spoke about stories, we spoke about disturbing people, we spoke about throwing challenges at them. But how do you actually do this? So for doing this, if you have your notepads and pens, I would really like you to note this down. There are 6 elements in vocal communication. All right. Thank you, Judy. Tisha, I cannot see your face. Okay. Sachin, spiritual you are. Thank you. Hello, Sophie Soul. All right. So there are 6 elements of vocal communication. The first one is your rate of speech or pace of speech. All right. So by this, I mean how fast or how slow you are talking. Now, many of us here might be fast speakers, all right? But understand that your audience sitting out there actually wants to absorb each and everything that you're speaking. He or she has removed the time from his busy schedule to sit for your particular speech. And obviously, it would be a waste if he's not able to grasp everything, all right? So you need to remember that no matter how fast a speaker you are, you might be super confident, okay, but you need to slow down. All right, you need to talk slower and louder. All right, the reason I talk is because when you keep talking loudly, I'm especially talking for beginners here, all right, when you keep increasing your volume, what's happening is your focus is going on increasing your volume and you forget about your nervousness. And at the same time, when you raise your volume during your speech, you are able to grasp attention of people. Okay, now hold on, don't come to the conclusion that you need to be loud all the time. I'm going to talk about the remaining elements. So the first element is your rate of speech, where you talk at not a very fast pace, but you talk a little slowly and your volume is a little louder. All right, the next is pause. It's extremely important to keep pausing in between, because when you pause, you are giving the time to your audience to absorb the information, to reflect, and then you move to the next segment. All right, if you continuously keep talking, then your audience will have a problem grasping everything and they won't have the time to reflect. They won't be able to bring two and two together. So they'll say, yes, you're talking sense, but will they be able to match it to what's happening in their life? No. You need to give them a few moments to actually match everything that you've spoken to their life. All right, so the second element is your pausing. Then the third element is your pitch. All right, so when I say pitch, I mean the shrilliness. Okay, the shrilliness that you have in your voice. So high pitch, low pitch, high, low. So here what's happening is when you do a high pitch, emotions, you're trying to disturb people, and when you do a low pitch, you are again moving to their emotions. So sometime back we spoke about shifting emotions, right? Every 10 minutes shift emotions. So when you want to charge them up and bring anger in them, disturb them, increase the pitch, increase the volume. And when you want them to settle down, calm down a bit, reduce, lower your pitch, lower your volume, right? Next is your tone of voice. The fourth element is your tone of voice. So your tone needs to be as per your speech. Okay, so for example, you are the demanding, arrogant sort of a public speaker, which I don't suggest you be, but just in case you are, then your tone is going to be something where you are actually hurting people so that they learn something from you. Understand, the intention here is that they need to learn. You'll see a lot of coaches out there who are really hard on you. What are they doing? Their tone is such that it hurts you and it challenges you to go ahead. But again, you need to understand who exactly is your audience. If your audience are the people out there who are sensitive, you can't really use this sort of a public speech. All right, if you want to sound friendly, then your tone needs to be one where you can actually feel the person is friendly. Okay, so understand that your tone is nothing but the emotion in your voice. Okay, and it is nothing but a result of your pitch and the words that you are stressing upon. So when you say words that you're stressing upon, let's say for example, he's giving this card to me. I'm focusing on he's giving. Okay, he. Next, he's giving this card to me. Are you understanding? The first stress was on he's and the second stress was on this. The meaning changes. In the first case, he's giving this card to me means nobody else but this person, particular person. He is giving this car to me means this particular car, no other car. So one sentence but different meanings. All right. So same way in your tone is nothing but the emotion in your voice, and it is a result of your word stress and your pitch. So make sense when you use your, so make good, you need to make good sense when you're using your word stress. Don't stress on the wrong words, because the meaning changes, the emotion changes then. All right. And then the last element of vocal and verbal communication is the correct order of the words. Extremely crucial. All right. So let's take an example. I say, you are looking beautiful today. All right. Versus, today you are looking beautiful. Can you see the difference in the meaning? Today you are looking beautiful. That means I don't look beautiful on the other days of the week or other days of the year, right? So always use the words in the correct order. All right, I'll quickly walk you through the elements again. So you've got rate of speech, which is the pace at which you're talking. Typically, if I have to put a number, say around 225 words per minute is good. Sorry, 125 words per minute is good. Second is your pausing. You need to pause often. Third is pitch. Fourth is your tone of voice. Fifth is your volume. And sixth is word stress. All right. And along with that, I've just given you a bonus one, which is use words in the correct order. All right. So these were the 6 elements. And apart from this, the 15th secret that I have for you to become a great public speaker is that always acknowledge the platform that has helped you to talk. So maybe there's a particular venue which has been sponsored for you, an organization has called you over to give you has called you over so that you can give them a speech, give the audiences a speech. Please acknowledge the people who give you the platform. Whenever you are in the middle somewhere, just casually thank these people here who've been really kind to give me this venue to talk and give me such wonderful set of audiences here to talk on so and so topic. All right, so that's my 15th secret for you. And the last secret for you to be a great public speaker is that you need to always learn from your mistakes. All right, no matter how good your speech went, no matter how good a public speaker you are, each one of us makes mistakes because we are human, right? So in every speech that you give, no matter how good, something would have gone wrong or something would have not gone that well. There's always scope for improvement. So try to go back, watch that speech, take feedback, and try to revise that particular part of your speech and come back. You need to learn, grow, and evolve. It needs to be a continuous cycle in your life. Learn, grow, evolve, learn, grow, evolve. All right. So those were the 16 secrets. I'll quickly just walk through the comments that I've missed and just see if there are any more questions for me. Okay, Tisha, I think I answered you. Okay, Tisha, you could connect with me on private. Hello, Vaibhav. Hello, Apua Lekhya. All right. So I hope you enjoyed today's session where we spoke about the different public speaking styles and the secrets in order to be a great public speaker. I hope you'll implement all of these. This is my challenge to you, that please go ahead, apply the 16 secrets and tell me for yourself if you see a change. All right. So that's it from my side for this live session. I'll see you very soon again, and have a great weekend ahead. Bye-bye.